G'day, what's going on? I had a thought today, and my thought was about how saying no is 10x more powerful than saying yes. And in the context of business, and in the context of making money, and in the context of making money online. I remember when I was coming through the ranks in my 20s, trying to make ends meet. I was trying to, nothing appealed to me more than my freedom and making a shitload of money so I could just become the man, right? So in doing that, I have a digital agency now. I do about 50, 60K a month in my agency. I have a home office here. I work from my laptop. I make these videos for young men, women who are sort of in a similar position to what I was. And I remember coming through when I was just really getting going again. I'd failed a bunch of times, and I was sort of in my late 20s, I'd started to figure it out. I was just kind of taking a bit of everything on. And in the process of taking everything on, it's just like anyone with a heartbeat and a credit card, I was like taking a transaction from. Because I was like, I just want to make a lot of money. So, fucking sign up and let's just get this thing going. And over time, like I would be found out with that. And I would be found out with it because just anyone with a heartbeat and a credit card is eventually going to come back to bite you, because you have a certain personality, you have a certain way that you want to run your business, you have a certain vision of how your business works into your lifestyle, you have values and morals, and your values and morals and all those rules and everything that you set when you start a business, those things don't align with every single person. So through the journey of business, you work out that you don't vibe with absolutely everybody. You don't have chemistry with absolutely every person. And you have to do business to work that out. And my story about finding out was when I took on this client, and I can't even remember what they did. They did like rubbish removal or something. And I was trying to do SEO for them. And I signed them on quite cheap, but I could see that I could probably get a result for them. And if you don't know, SEO is like when you rank on Google for like keywords. So someone types in like rubbish removal Melbourne or something, and you pop up in the top searches. I've been doing SEO for the good part of 10 years. And I'm quite good at it now. And I was good at it back when I took this client on. Now, I didn't see at the time, I didn't have the foresight that I have now. So I didn't see at the time that this client had no idea how any of it worked. They know they needed it, but they had no fucking clue how any of it worked. So I took them on, and I think it was like 800 Australian per month or something. And from the very beginning, they were expecting the world and paying peanuts. And I kind of ignored it because I was like, this is a good deal for me because I think I can make it work and these guys will be really happy with me. And one of my biggest values when it comes to working with people is, even more so now, is that I'm kind, I'm polite, I'm very transparent, and I make sure that the person fully understands exactly how I operate. And so back then I was decent at doing that still, despite all of my efforts. The energy in between me and the client was that they were expecting me to make them millions, like make their business a success, because they were paying me $800, which to them was a lot of money. And I could tell that, but I still kind of ignored it. And they were really breaking the bank to be able to make this work, because they knew they needed the marketing to get their business and get new business. But most businesses in that position where they're kind of in a financial pinch, $800 a month is a lot of money to them. So their first investment into marketing, especially something like SEO that takes time, and especially when they're uneducated, like that can cause a lot of problems, which I found out very quickly. Within the space of a month, when I didn't have their rankings to the top of Google straight away because they had no fucking idea how it worked, then they were banging on my door wondering why everything wasn't working and their business wasn't 10x'd. And that was one of the most stressful, worst experiences of my entire life. And that one sent me, because I was actually within the space of a small period, I was actually getting decent results for them, and trying to communicate that was like, they're like, well, our phone isn't ringing. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't fucking happen in 1 month. Like, calm down, bro. And through that period, eventually after like the third month of keeping them there and actually getting them good results, They canned the whole thing, and I ended up having to refund them. And that 3-month period was like, for me, especially when I was trying to get going in my business, like that absolutely just destroyed my confidence, because I was like, how can I possibly do good work for someone and they just shit on me without a second thought? And really, in hindsight now, I realize, I'm like, I can spot a bad client from the beginning. I can see when someone's going to be a pain in the ass from the start. Usually, if someone's under financial pressure coming to you, they are looking for someone to save them in their business. They're looking for someone to, especially in my area of work in marketing, they're looking for you to make their business work. They're not taking responsibility for it, they're handing it to you. And I can spot that now, especially in certain industries and that kind of thing. But it made me think, if I had have had the skill level that I have now to be able to see that and have foresight for that, then I would never have taken them on. I would never have signed them on that dotted line. I would have given them some kind of advice on what I think they should do, and then that would have been the value add for them for free, for nothing. And then I would have said, we're not a good fit for each other. And when it comes to this sort of thing, you don't have to take every person on. Now, I realize there is a caveat to this, and the caveat is that when you first start, you kind of have to take a bit of everything on, because where else are you going to get the business and money from? Usually you start by taking on 2, 3, 4 clients, whatever, from word of mouth referrals and these kinds of things, or just doing general hustle and trying to find people. And that can go for any industry, whether it's like coaching or it's like PT, it's like digital marketing, which is my realm, copywriting, whatever it is that you're trying to do online. And you kind of have to take a bit of everything on, because your business can't grow from you being picky with every single person that comes across you. And usually you can't tell because you haven't got the skill level to understand it just yet. You haven't got the runs on the board. So the caveat is, at the start, you can't take a bit of everything on. You eat some shit sandwiches for a little bit. And then eventually, when you start to get going, you get better at your craft, you get better at understanding people, better at managing them, better at selling, all those things. Then you really start to get a roll on. You can be a little bit more handpicky with clients. But saying no to stuff when you get to that position, I'm speaking from a position of being a little bit more established. Saying no is 10x more powerful than saying yes. Because when you say no to something, you're saying yes to your own values, you're saying yes to your own boundaries. You're saying yes to who you are and what you want in your world. And now that I can spot these things, if someone says, hey, can we jump on a phone call? No, you can't. If you want to work on my terms, then you work on how I operate, which is, we'll do some find out stuff. You can chat to me a little bit. And then, after that point, I make the rules. It's my business. I make the rules. This is how I work. You fit into my world. Otherwise, we're not a good fit for each other. People demanding my time for things like, because there's stock standard things out there these days. It's like free call for this and that. And especially in my industry, digital marketing, it's like free quote and free health check of your website and all this bullshit. It's just like, I just don't have the energy for that. It's like, I can already pull apart what I need to know about your business very, very quickly. And then we do a chat, and that's how I kind of work. And if someone doesn't want to work into that, then I'm not interested in working with them. And usually my business comes from referrals these days anyway, so I come well recommended. Obviously that would change if I had an acquisition system that was ad related, because there'd need to be some sort of lead magnet. Someone doesn't know who I am, and I can kind of screen people in a different way, like calls would probably need and all those sorts of things. But these days I can pick when a client won't be good. And you are well within your rights to say no to someone if you don't think they're a good fit for you. And so you only learn this, as I mentioned, you only learn this from being in the game long enough to understand how it works and understand who you actually want in your world. Every single one of my clients are my friends. All of my clients I have on chat apps. No one calls me, not anymore, because I don't like managing people through phone calls. It drains my energy, it takes my creativity, it steals my focus away from me. So for me now, it is easier for me to say because I am more established these days. But also, even when you're coming through, you can have one bad client or one bad experience, and that can really set you back a long way if you can't spot it. And you are well within your rights to say no to someone. Even if you feel like in your gut, you're just like, something just doesn't feel right about this, no amount of money can buy my peace of mind. No amount can. And nowadays, my peace of mind is so much more important to me than any dollar figure you could put against it. Someone could come to me and say, I'll pay you 10 grand a month to do this thing that I don't want to do. And without hesitation, I say no. I'm not interested in doing that. I'll pay you 10 grand a month if you do my digital marketing, but I need a weekly phone call every single week on progress. Fuck that. Like that, there's no amount of money that could make me want to do that. And that is, for me now, is so much more liberating, and it frees my mind up to do what I'm best at so I can get the best possible result for the people who are in my world. And that's how you build trust, and that's how you build respect too. If you just say yes to everything, then people know that they can kick you around. They know that they can just walk all over you. And from that very, people can tell if you've got a boundary or you don't. If you haven't got strong boundaries, you'll get treated like dirt. It goes for any walk of life. It goes for your relationships, your friendships, it goes for new connections, it goes for your family life. Anything where there's a dynamic of energy between you two. Like, for you to have strong boundaries in who you are and be convicted in who you are really determines the health of the connection and the relationship that you have with clients. Money is secondary. Money is just the part that just enables the transaction. All the other stuff in the middle, where you say, yes, we're a good fit because your values align with mine, you're okay with how I operate, this is what we expect, here's the price. You either do it or you don't. And the other way is it goes around as well. But I think as a business owner, to take on a client, you can hire and fire your clients as you wish, depending on what actually makes you feel good. And I am so much more, I will lose clients that I didn't really even want to work on because they weren't really inspiring me, that are worth a lot of money to me. And it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel like, oh, that 5-6K a month really hurt my bank account. It's like, that amount of money wasn't serving me purely because when I went to go work on that client, my energy loss is there. I'd rather work to replace that with someone who I really enjoy working with, that really gives me energy and gives me life and gives me creativity and really allows me to be the best version of myself for them. So you can hire and fire your clients, bottom line. And if you spot something that isn't quite right, probably in a lot of cases, saying no to them is more powerful than saying yes. I hope this was helpful. I'll do more of these videos about, especially for young men, but, health, wealth, all these things I wanted to know when I was a young man. And if you have a question or something, you can reach out to me on Instagram @BenKeneva, or you can comment down below or whatever. But I really enjoy just doing the record, freestyle, say my part, bail, really enjoying that. And I hope you get some value from it. Anyway, have a good day, and cheers for the weekend.